Good morning and welcome back to Tarot Tats and Tea. I have a tea to share with you, one that is definitely an acquired taste, but one that carries so many health benefits. Now, and just to disappoint you, I'm sorry, this is a coffee this morning. Hubby brought me up a nice cup of coffee so I can get on and do my thing. Now the tea that I'm going to talk about has been created through mushrooms foraged by one of my neighbours. And I have to say I'm very lucky. I live on a housing estate. You know, it's on the outskirts of a small town here in County Wicklow. And we're very lucky. We have the sea one side, we have woodlands the other. So we have the best of both worlds. And because even on my bicycle, I can head off and I can be, like I say, in the woods 1 minute, at the sea the next. And there is so much to appreciate. And we're in a very quiet area. Now, as you all are aware, I enjoy foraging, and it's blended in really well with, as I keep mentioning it quite a lot, the ancestral journey that we're on through my channel. And through any other channel that you might be following similar sort of things. And I went foraging with my hubby the other week, where we picked out very early wild garlic. Beautiful garlic pesto was made. Yes, we put it on near enough everything we eat because we're garlic fans in the house. And as have my neighbours, they've all had a jar too. So that was really nice. It was lovely to share. I bake bread from scratch. I don't buy the flour, the bread mix. It actually started with creating bread last Mabon, and I came across this recipe for Mabon bread and have sort of adapted it. So it's very much along the lines of the Irish soda bread, and what I've started doing now is adding herbs to it. So we're getting different flavoured breads, and in fact I delivered one the other day to a friend of mine, and I'm looking forward to report on how he found that. So getting back to the tea, I had a knock on my door yesterday, and a neighbour 2 doors down is very much into his foraging and has been quite inspirational for me when it's come to me with my own greenhouse. He has his greenhouse, and before I was able to have my own greenhouse, he very, very kindly allowed me to use a patch inside his greenhouse to grow my own vegetables and herbs. And the generosity was amazing. And since then, we swap an awful lot, whether it's plants, seeds, information, advice, and all tips, hints and tips on foraging. Yesterday he arrived at my door with some turkey tail mushrooms. Turkey tail mushrooms, I'll put pictures in here so that you can see them, are very fan-like in shape, very much like you would see a turkey tail, and it has those different layers of colouring, and sort of little, like a waved edge to it. They, on one side, they feel extremely velvety, almost like fine hairs, and they're gradients of colours, from deep browny reddy colours through to browns, reds, a creamy colour, and then just a tiny little bit of a lighter sort of, I wouldn't even call it grey, it's more, again, a lighter cream. And they grow sort of like that, all bedded into each other from fallen trees, etc. So this, I had been researching the benefits of turkey tail mushrooms, and the benefits, if they are as it states, are wonderful. Allegedly, the mushroom has been used in the likes of Japan for many, many years, and is used alongside modern day medicines to treat a variety of illnesses, from diabetes right the way through the spectrum to cancers. And whether they have or haven't got a it hasn't, I don't think it's actually been scientifically proven if they benefit things from these mushrooms. However, some of the research I was reading states that people with, I think it was liver, lung, breast and another cancer have had longer survival rates than those who hadn't been taking this mushroom alongside the modern day medicine, chemical medicines. And I found that quite fascinating with my own health history, and I thought I'm going to give it a try. It's also supposed to alleviate, bring down your blood sugars. Now, if you're already on diabetic medications, then perhaps that's not a wise idea. Seek your medical, advice first, because obviously diabetic, you don't want your blood sugars to drop too low. I myself have been drinking this now because it's it actually takes away, it takes 6 to 8 hours to feel the benefits. And the fatigue, because I do get quite a bit of fatigue, which I try to work my way through. Sometimes it's not easy, I just have to sit down, close my eyes and blink, I'm gone. But I don't feel the level of fatigue, I feel more normal. Normal. But what do you do? These mushrooms are quite tough. You wouldn't eat them. You wouldn't, albeit they are edible. There's nothing poisonous about them. You would find them very tough to chew. So what do you do for your teas? You clean off your mushrooms, because like any mushrooms, you get little caterpillars inside and little mites and things. So you can't actually rinse them under the tap, so to speak, or soak them, because then the water will impregnate the mushroom and get rid of the goodness. So using a toothbrush, not one that's been used obviously, I brushed away all the dirt and brushed out little caterpillars and actually put them outside. Now I know I do have veggies outside and have to be careful where I put them, because I don't want them eating my own greens either, but I just put them out in the grass, so hopefully they'll go on to become lovely butterflies. So cleaned them all out and cut them away from the solid piece that they sort of come along. There's like a piece of, it's almost woody in feel. So cut all that off. Made sure they're nice and clean, and I divided my mushrooms into 2 piles. One I've turned into powder, the other ones I boiled. But you don't boil them till they bubble, you let them simmer. Simmer for a good hour or more. And then strain the water, and strain it so there's no bits in it whatsoever, and you will see it's like a deep sort of tea colour without any milk. So strain that. I strained it into a jug, and I thought I'll taste it first before I pour a cup, and I thought, now it has an ultra strong mushroom taste. I mean really strong, very much an acquired taste. I could sip a small amount of that. But if you add a tablespoon of honey and maybe a teaspoon and a half of lemon juice and mix it in, it is the nicest herbal tea I have ever drunk. It is delicious. And I actually drank 2 mugs of it last night, 2 big cups of it last night, and even my stomach doesn't feel bloated. I just feel relaxed, but not tired. I feel I wouldn't say it's been like a miracle, woohoo, Elaine, but it's like, do you feel any different? Do I feel different? No, but I feel first thing in the morning a lot more alert. I don't have that fatigued that I need to go back to bed feeling, and my stomach feels quite relaxed. Sometimes you can wake up in the morning, get stomach ache and not feeling great. None of that. And I'm able to enjoy my coffee. So the other half I then put in the oven, and I put them in for an hour and a half, turn them over halfway till they were dry, because I laid them out in a thin layer and they were only thin mushrooms. But by the time an hour and a half, I kept checking them, they were crispy. So once you get them to crispy grand, I put them in my coffee grinder and grinded them down to a powder. So now I'm going to get the little nets you can buy for tea, to use as tea bags, and I'm going to put a teaspoon of mushroom powder in, along with a teaspoon of ginger. and then I'll give it a little squirt of lemon. I might even put lemon zest into the tea bag. So it's ginger and lemon tea with the mushroom water. With ginger, yeah, it'll be, what did I call them? Turkey tail, mushroom, ginger and lemon tea. And I think that will be really, really nice. I'll let you know once I've made that. I've got it all powdered up in an airtight jar, so I'm looking forward to it. I just need to get my ginger now, and then that will be grand. So that's on the tea talks. I have some books to share with you. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned them before. If you're a Kindle reader, which when I go away, or even when I've run out of books, which I actually shouldn't run out of books because I've got a pile waiting to be read. If you're into the books of the supernatural, Shani Struthers is an author that I have come across through Amazon, and I download her books, and she has a variety of a different series of books, and they are actually quite entertaining. Well, I say entertaining, they're enjoyable to read. They really are, and they're nice. When I'm going to bed at night, if the lamp's disturbing my hubby, I'll read my Kindle, and it's the Shani Struthers books that I'm working my way through at the moment, and I have to say I enjoy them. I know a lady, Sandra, if you're watching, Sandra also reads Shani Struthers books, and we both find them quite enjoyable. But two books I came across whilst I was away visiting my mum in Wales, which I think one of them I'm absolutely loving. One I'm virtually halfway through, and it's Wayward by Amelia Hart. Okay, look at that. Hold on, let me just page my R157 with that bright pink inside. But look at the pages. Isn't that gorgeous? You can see the butterfly there and the flowers. That drew me to the book. But then I read the blurb, and just pop this back into my book here. Chapter 22 I'm on, and I'm really, really enjoying the book. I'll give you a rundown. They tried to cage us, but a wayward woman belongs to the wild. We cannot be tamed. Joanna Cannon wrote magical, historical, relevant and empowering. Rosie Andrews wrote fierce and moving, magnificent, the best book I've read this year. And Sunny Dean wrote beautifully written and intricate as a spider's web. And with all of those reviews, I have to 100% agree. Let's look at the blurb on the inside of the cover. Kate was born in... This is the year 2019. Kate flees London, abandoning everything for Cumbria and Wayward Cottage, inherited from her great aunt. There, a secret lurks in the bones of the house, hidden ever since the witch hunts of the 17th century. In 1942, we have Violet. Violet is more interested in collecting insects and climbing trees than becoming a proper young lady, until a chain of shocking events changes her life forever. And then we have Altha, who's from 1619, 17th century, 1619. Altha is on trial for witchcraft, accused of killing a local man. Known for her uncanny connection with nature and animals, she is a threat that must be eliminated. But wayward women belong to the wild, and they cannot be tamed. Weaving together the stories of three women across 5 centuries, Wayward is an enthralling novel of female resilience and the transformative power of the natural world. This book has really grabbed me. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And there's also a little piece in here that I want to read to you here. Just bear with me. My hand's not working very efficiently today. The lymphedema has decided to kick in today. Here's a piece from Macbeth. The wayward sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus do go about, thrice to thine, thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace, the charms wound up. Macbeth. Wayward is used in the first folio edition of Macbeth. In later versions, wayward was replaced by weird. So that's an interesting little piece of information there for you. One of the other things that drew me to this book, I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate it properly on here. We have a raven in the corner, but when we do this with our book, the raven flies. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, this is a book that, besides all the little nice things, the beautiful coloured cover, the lovely sleeve, the beautiful edging on the page, the story itself is every bit as beautiful as the cover. So if you're looking for a good book to read and you're into your sort of magic, this is the book, Wayward. A second book that I picked up, excuse me here, has another beautiful cover. I'm drawn to beautiful covers. And this is called The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. Kate Moss, the author of The Labyrinth, wrote beguiling and atmospheric, an entrancing and gripping tale. I'll read the reviews that have been printed on the back, and I love the way it's been printed in gold. Louise O'Neill, author of Idol, wrote, I adored this deliciously gothic, beautiful written novel. Lucy Clark, author of The Castaways, wrote, elegant and atmospheric, and suffused with brooding menace, transports us back to the dark corridors of museum life, embroidering the reader in a twisting mystery. Then Sarah Pearce, author of Sanatorium, wrote Dark and Enigmatic, a story of academic obsession, Renaissance magic, and the ruthless pursuit of power. Sally Hinchcliffe, author of Hare House, wrote Dark and compelling, it draws the reader into its world of the archive and the occult. Sarah Penner of The Lost Apothecary, sultry and sinister, teems with sexual tension and secrets of divination and scholarly obsessiveness. Rachel Capel-Cadale, author of The Ballerinas, wrote A tour de force, the cloisters grabbed me in a way that no book has done since The Secret History. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into this one too. And then Julia May Jonas, author of Vladimir, wrote, like the moment before a thunderstorm on a summer afternoon, the cloisters is sultry, lush, and trembling with menace. Isn't that beautiful? Inside the cover, the dust sleeve, the dust jacket, it reads, when Anne Stilwell arrives in New York, she hopes to spend the summer working in the city's Metropolitan Museum of Art. Instead, she's assigned to the Cloisters, the Met's Gothic museum and garden renowned for its medieval and Renaissance collection. There she's drawn into a small circle of charismatic but enigmatic researchers, each with their own secrets and desires, including the museum's curator Patrick Rowland, whose obsession is tarot and the possibility of divination, eager for the approval of her new colleagues, and is only too happy to indulge some of their more outlandish theories. But then she discovers a mysterious, once-believed lost deck of 15th century Italian tarot cards and finds herself in the centre of a dangerous game of toxic friendship and unbridled ambition. And as the game being played within the cloisters begins to spiral out of control, Anne must decide whether she is truly able to defy the cards and shape her own future. Bringing together the modern and the arcane, The Cloisters is a rich, thrilling, told tale of obsession and the ruthless pursuit of power. And look at the cards inside the cover. As you can imagine, and as it will no doubt appeal to many of you, merely because of the images of the tarot, as well as the theme of the story. And what we have in the back here, the story is beautiful, the pages feel lovely. I love the, feel of the pages of a book, and the smell of a new book is absolutely glorious. Something you can't get with a Kindle, and I do treasure my Kindle too. Anne Stilwell's Guide to Reading Tarot. So this is what we have in the back of the book, which is so interesting. Okay, now each column for the major arcana has a title. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. There's the number of the card, the traditional card name, the Ferrara deck card title and associated Roman god, zodiac sign, planetary ruler, the Ferrara deck illustration, upright meaning interpretation, and reversed meaning interpretation. So just as an example, this has been written about the Fool. So 0, or the egg, Fool. The associated Roman god is Prometheus. The Ferrara deck card title is Nusca. Zodiac sign Aquarius, planetary ruler Uranus. The Ferrara deck illustration, a man dressed in a simple tattered garb. Instead of holding a torch with his belongings, this figure holds a lit staff, a la Prometheus. The constellation Aquarius hangs in an orange sky behind the Fool. Upright meaning or interpretation. Beginnings and new paths. This can mean a fresh start, a new project, or a leap of faith. The card is the harbinger of change and can indicate forward-looking creation and even magnetism. Reversed, recklessness or incomplete projects, the inability to commit to work, family, relationships, mercuriality, rebelliousness or wild behaviour, stubborn independence. So Anne Stilwell's Guide to Reading the Tarot is quite something. This is so interesting, and it's going to be great comparing this to other interpretations of the cards, you know. Then the minor arcana, let's see what we've got. So if we look at the ace cards, we look at the ace across the four suits. So swords, reason, communication, air. Ace is clarity. Staves or wands, creativity, action and fire. So we've got the element there as well. And the ace is creation. Cups, emotions, intuition and water. Intimacy. Coins, or as we know, pentacles as well, materiality, success and earth. So the ace is prosperity. And this goes right the way through. It's lovely to see this included in the story. In fact, it's rather amazing. Absolutely wonderful. So folks, that's the Cloisters. And yes, another beautifully created cover. And it again contains butterflies. Those look like little forget-me-nots, don't they? Butterflies and forget-me-nots. I love it. So I hope that this is going to be every bit as good as this one. And again, we've got that theme of butterflies on the covers. And it sort of does transport you when you get a book that looks and feels and is actually as good as this. And they're a pleasure to carry around. Oh, I do like my books. I am a little bit of a, wait for it, book nerd. My bag for carrying my books around. So people, that's it on the book front. That's it on the tea front. And I just want to show you something else. This here, I'll just tip these out. I've got some of my charms in here. So I'm going to cast these. I picked these out last night for me to use to read for myself today. Look at this beauty. See, you can see the blue inside there. There's a few sections of blue. Hard to pick up there. They've got here. It goes right the way in. That's resin. This is a beautiful, a delightful apple tree wood. A little bowl that was made by my friend Roy Howard in Wicklow. He took up wood turning during the COVID lockdowns and went on to learn about adding resin to them. And if you look here, you can see the light through the bowl where the resin shines through. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's a lovely tiny little bowl. That is perfect when I take my charms out of their box to pop them in the bowl, ready to just shake and cast, and it takes away that, you know, sometimes if you've got charms in your hand and you go to throw them, they stick to your hand. If your hand's warm, you think, my God, I just plonked them there. So now you can just cast them quite freely with my little bowl. I am really delighted with that. That's my video for today. Just short and sweet, giving you an update on tea, on books, on foraging, and on my weird, wayward life. I hope you all are enjoying your weekend and that you've got great plans for today. In the meantime, I'll catch up with you soon, because as the spring is drawing nearer, what I would like to do is show you around my little garden. It's not a big garden, but it's what I'm growing in it that really, really does set my heart on fire. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye-bye now.